All right, here we go. Let's review. Okay, for those of you that were with us in Gatlinburg, we did a slight discussion and kind of a segue into what we're discussing today. And we need to make sure that you know that how important marketing is. And marketing is the process by which you create and keep customers. In this case, our customers are those people that we're wanting to change their health. Okay, so they are our target audience, by which we mean by customers. Okay. Social marketing and public health is nothing new, but marketing is key. And as you can kind of see on the page here, I've picked out three key logos. Everybody knows what the ribbon is. There's multiple ribbons. I chose the cancer one. Everybody knows what the pink ribbon is. Then you have the red dress for February for American Heart Association and fighting heart disease in women. And then the Let's Move campaign by Mrs. Obama. Everybody has an idea of what these logos are. And the idea behind each of these different campaigns is they want to influence behavior change within a population, whether it be females, whether it be children. You know what each one stands for and what their message is. Okay, so let's kind of define a couple of things here. Branding in this case means logos, and you can kind of see the vulnerable populations logo up there on top. We have that particular logo on a good portion of our paperwork. So if you are in any of our coalitions, you see that logo an awful lot, which is our tree. But branding is the promotion of consumer awareness of a particular brand of goods or services. And in this case, it's going to be your coalitions or your campaign, your message, okay? So marketing and promotion. Marketing is one of those terms that you associate with kind of marketing a product, okay? I'm going to be using marketing and promotion interchangeably, okay? But marketing is the development of your products, determining how they will be delivered, advertising and promoting products, making sure target audience is well served, and evaluating the effectiveness of your strategy. You always need to evaluate your effectiveness. If you're not seeing your results, then that means that there is something there that you need to look at. And the last one is sales. In our case, it's going to be buy-in. Okay, you want the population that you are targeting to realize that they need to consider a health change. Okay, your promoted good is the social campaign that you are trying to promote. Okay, and in our case with the diabetes grant, it's taking care of yourself with healthy lifestyle options, eating healthy, exercise, and that goes along with the cancer coalitions and really any other coalition out there. Okay, now let's see if you're ready. And this is a twofold item here. I want to introduce you, if you're not already familiar with the Stages of Change by DiClemente and Prochaska. It is a model that tells where people, and in this case also organizations, are on these stages of change. There are 5 stages: pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, and in this graph you see relapse. Okay, relapse will become important when we're talking about the individual. But what this does is it outlines individual stages in which a person is wanting to make a change. And in our case, for our organizations, does your organization realize that there is a need for promotion and or marketing of your product, your campaign? That is where we find our readiness. Okay. The next 2 slides, I'm going to attempt to send to you guys here in the next couple of days with our evaluation link. So you can kind of see this is from the CDC Capacity Building Toolkit. Look at this and answer these questions after we're done today, and kind of see where your organization falls when it comes time for promoting, whether it be a diabetes program, which this is where the Capacity Building Toolkit is for, or for just general health in general. And there's 2 pages there, but I'm going to go into a little more about what the exact change stages are so that you guys kind of have a better understanding. Now, for pre-contemplation, and this is in regards to the organization, the organization is not aware that marketing and or promotion is important or believe that marketing and or promotion is possible. This is the contemplation state, pre-contemplation. This is where they realize we just don't need it. And when it pertains to the individual, they are not aware that they have a problem. If we look at an example, if we tie it to the diabetes coalitions, they have diabetes, but they don't see an issue with how they're living their lifestyle, whether it be not exercising, not testing their A1Cs or their blood sugars regularly. They don't see a problem. They're not taking the proactive lifestyle changes to mitigate the effects of diabetes. And this also goes in with cancer. And if you're just wanting to make a lifestyle change in and of itself. What you need to do for individuals and organizations at this stage is you need to help them identify the benefits of marketing or making their changes. So kind of keep this in mind when you're planning your marketing strategies or your promotions, in that you need to kind of realize that there is a whole gamut of individuals on the stages of change model, and you do need to look at how can you motivate the person that's in that pre-contemplation stage, or how can you motivate your organization that may be at this point as well. The next one is contemplation. In this one, the organization is aware that marketing and or promotion support of the organization and its programs is important, weighing pros and cons of implementation, meaning that the company now is aware, okay, I see the benefits. They've migrated from the pre-contemplation to this stage, but they're still not making active changes. This is where they're on that fence. They're like, okay, we know that something needs to be done, but what exactly do we do? For the individual, it's this exact same mental frame. They have now become aware that there's a problem, that there's something that they need to change or do. Let's kind of look at it and kind of figure out where we need to go. Okay. The next is preparation, and this is one of the ones that can take quite a bit of time. In regards to the organization, it is they are committed to increasing diabetes and or healthy lifestyle outreach activities. This is where they are actually making the change. They are preparing to launch that promotion campaign. And the individual, if it's regarding healthy lifestyles, they are actively taking the steps to get ready to make the change. For example, with it being the new year, gyms these days, there's a joke. I used to work in a fitness facility that come January 1st with the New Year's resolutions, that's when the first 3 months of the year, a gym is the busiest because people have made New Year's resolutions to be healthy. Maybe in the month of December or the first part of January, these people are coming in and finding prices and what these gyms or facilities have to offer, and then go into that process of deciding, okay, am I going to join this gym? Am I going to join that gym? And it comes the same thing with eating healthy. They are going maybe online and researching whether it be different eating habits, how to include more fruits and vegetables into your daily habits. I don't like the word diet because diets are things that you start and stop. So you want to look at those types of things. Now, with the organization and in the process of making these changes or getting ready to promote this campaign, your campaign, you need to look at anywhere between 4 to 5 items. Okay. First thing that the organization needs to do is they need to know their target audience. Okay. An audience that is here in Ohio is going to be vastly different in Mississippi. We may have the same issues, but you're going to want to tackle the message in a slightly different way. You're going to want to be very culturally sensitive. And this also goes for those out in California or up in New England. It doesn't matter. You need to know what your target audience is. And some resources to determine that, go to the U.S. Census Bureau, go to your local newspapers, look up demographics of your county, your state, your city, and then also look at the geographics. Look at your rural populations versus your urban and suburban populations. Rural populations are typically slightly behind by 1 to 2 years than what you would see in your urban populations. The second thing is you need to know what stage on the stages of change model you want to tackle first? Do you want to look at the person that is on the contemplative stage where they know that there's an issue, or do you want to focus on people who are in the preparation or the action or the maintenance stages? And I'm going to go through those here in a few minutes, because each message that you have for each one of those different stages is going to be vastly different. Okay. The third one is know your competitor, know if there are other organizations out there, know what their strengths and weaknesses are, and kind of play off them to kind of promote your own message. Also, number 4, know how all of this affects your SMART goals for your organization. Develop some SMART goals for your campaign, which are, and SMART goals are your specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. Okay. You're going to have short-term and long-term goals, so don't think that change is going to happen overnight. And then lastly, make sure you're choosing the appropriate media outlets for your population. And I'm going to talk about those here a little bit more detail here in a few minutes. Okay. Now, the next stage is the action stage. And this is probably going to be the easiest group of individuals to start the promotion with. What this is they are currently implementing a diabetes program, activities, or healthy lifestyle changes, cancer changes, the activities, those sorts of things. This also kind of plays with the organization as well. The organization at this point in time is actively taking their message out. They have decided upon what their target audience is. They have written their SMART goals. They know their demographics. They know how they're going to reach their population, which media outlets they're going to utilize. And from there, they can kind of keep going. With the individual, know that this stage, has a 6-month time frame. So once the individual enters this stage, they are in that action stage up until 6 months. That is how long it takes for a habit. It takes 6 to 8 weeks to form a habit, and that 6 months, if they can make it out that long, is going to pretty much last a lifetime. And then once they exit the action stage, they go into maintenance. Maintenance stage is where both the organization and the individual have a history of successful implementation of either campaigns and ongoing program development, or they have actively made that change and sustained it for that length of time. Again, they enter this stage at 6 months, and it can last up to years. But also know that there's that relapse stage when it comes to individuals. You know, we kind of joke a lot of times, and this is in the fitness industry, that, people will have a bad day when it comes to eating. They have a really bad day at work. They cope with their stress via eating, and they just completely blow their caloric intake out of the water. And then they think, oh my gosh, this is just, I've done it. I can't do it again. What's the point? And then they just relapse into their old habits. This is the same for organizations. You make sure that you're continually refreshing your routines, your programs. Make sure that you are, again, letting individuals know that have gone from the maintenance stage and into the relapse stage that it's okay, just get back up on that horse, which is I've always thought is a funny phrase that we use, and kind of wonder whenever it came from. But let your individuals know that it's common. Everybody relapses at some point in time. Okay. Now, let's look at the media. This is probably one of the bigger pages that we kind of will take a little bit longer time to look at. Now, there are different forms of media, and know that this is important. Know which segment of the media is going to reach the most population in your area. For example, I didn't realize I didn't have on here, TV and cable is a big one. Okay, most generally people have cable, but you also need to kind of take into consideration now that a lot of people are leaving the cable and DirecTV and going to like Hulu and Netflix to watch their shows because of costs. As costs rise, people kind of switch their media forms to kind of help with that. So this is where knowing radio, people are constantly in their cars, okay? And then print ads through like magazines, local newspapers is big. And one thing to kind of take in consideration with this is call your local radio stations, your local newspapers, because they will let you on their shows. It's like for the radio, and that's free publicity, and essentially that you're giving out a public service announcement or a PSA. And the same thing with print. They may also allow you to do some advertising via that way to allow some free technology, some free messages going out there. Okay. If we look at internet, you can go on Google and purchase ads. Now, some of these you'll have to check the cost. Some can be costly. So again, you want to look at budget and how much money you have available to do this within your organization. And that should all be outlined in part of the preparation stage for your organization. Um, and by built environment, I mean like billboards. Here in Scioto County and Portsmouth, where we're located, you can go out and see all kinds of billboards. We also see signs on tracks. You can also see benches that have promotion of goods and services throughout our community. And so you want to kind of take maybe a scenic drive in your area and kind of figure out, okay, where do I see these? Is this something that I would want to look at? And again, you're going to have to outweigh the costs and the benefits to see which way you think you're going to reach the most individuals. And then we have social media, and this is the big ticket item. This is probably one of the biggest forms of campaign promotion at this time. And this in and of itself is its own 30 to 45-minute presentation. So that is going to be the sole point around our next presentation. But social media, okay. Here are the top ones that you kind of see there. Facebook. Almost everybody has a Facebook page, unless you're the younger population who is now moving towards things like Instagram, which is a picture sharing social media site. There's YouTube, LinkedIn, and then Twitter. Now, YouTube, just if you didn't already know, is the #1 search engine. It has bypassed Google, Yahoo, MSN, and Bing due to the fact that people can actually see things. So if you're wanting to crochet something, you can go on there and find all kinds of tutorials on how to make a hat or a blanket or learn this stitch and that stitch. If you go on there, you can find all kinds of videos from people doing say community plays around diabetes or other health or health topics. So it's a huge avenue out there to get your message out there. LinkedIn is for professionals. It links people in the different sectors of our communities to kind of link to talk to people within either their same profession, and also to help you reach out. Twitter is a lot like Facebook. Twitter, you're only allowed like 140 characters when you write, so it's a quick, short, and to the point. But what's great about Facebook, Twitter, you can kind of link those two together, so you only have to do one post, which makes it nice. There are also other programs out there that you can tie into your Facebook program and into your Twitter that will automatically post messages for you, so you're not necessarily devoting a ton of time to your Facebook page or to your Twitter. You can sit down and within one day, depending upon the time frame that you have, and put in quite a bit of text and messages that can be timed out to when they go out, so that you're not sitting there slaving over the computer when a lot of you guys need to be out in the field reaching out to the people that you need to reach out to. And we'll kind of touch on that again too. But remember that I'm going to kind of show you a little bit on Facebook here what you can kind of do with your program. But know that Facebook is probably going to be your best avenue to kind of get a lot of evaluation data and things as well. So we'll go to the Facebook page here in a second, but just a couple of last effective marketing tips and strategies. Know your target audience. I cannot stress that enough. Know your demographics, know your age, know your gender, and also kind of figure out again which of the stages of the stages of change model that you're wanting to target. Tailor your product or your message to address that audience's need. That's going to kind of get you your start. Make sure that you're creating messages that grab attention, something quick, funny, tend to capture the most. Sarcasm always works wonderfully, but you don't necessarily want that with a health promotion campaign. You want to kind of get to the heartstrings because each person is going to make their change and these changes on their own time. And they have to have their own reason. They have to have their own particular buy-in. For example, you might have a mother who is overweight and has 3 kids and cannot, get on the floor and play with her children and have that good time and show them what they need to do because she's unhealthy. Targeting those heartstrings, making the message personal to your target audience is going to be key. And then look for ways to have continuous contact with your audience. So again, keeping on that stages of change, making sure that you're doing marketing and promotion for each one of those stages as your target audience moves into each different stage. And then determine what your audience wants and what they need. Okay. Again, this is where looking at evaluating your program is going to be best. Okay. And just some other tips to remember. Remember that the goal number 1 is to help people make and sustain behavior change. It's that sustainment that we want to do because that's what's going to make change healthy behavior change long term. Effects should focus on communication of diabetes control and prevention, and that's for our particular grant. But then also if you're looking at heart disease and cancer, remember that your effects should focus on the message that you're wanting to send. And then make sure you utilize all media outlets that you can reach so that you can reach a maximum target, not just those with diabetes and their families, but those with risks. And that goes with, again, all types of health campaigns. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of give you a quick and dirty, I'm kind of come back to that here in a second. On Facebook here, we have recently done a new page for the Strengthening Communities to Prevent Diabetes in Appalachia. And you can kind of see here, this is what the administration panel looks like, okay? What is great is that it tells you when you have notifications, how many people have liked your page. You can do pictures, you can post pictures, you can invite your friends, you can kind of see some of my friends there, to your page. You can also have more than one administrator, and ours in particular has 3. Myself, I've added, and a couple of others, Sharon and Mel, have also been added to this as well, so that there's more than one person doing a lot of the legwork behind the Facebook page, because this can honestly take a little while. But this is what we call a page. And then it shows you the different photos, the likes, and then you can kind of see how many people have shared it, and looks like 2 people have shared this page. And then what's great about this one is that it will also show you how many people have seen it, so you know how much you have reached with your target audience, which is wonderful. And again, I'm going to kind of go into more detail with this in our next one, how to get it set up and what you need to do with that.